Welcome to part two of what I would do if I were President of the United States of America. First off, second off, in this case, seeing how this is my second video, as far as education goes, I would dive a little deeper than remodeling the education system off of, say, Finland or something like that. I would want to establish a way for people to learn a skill in the case society collapses that would be useful in the case of society collapsing. Be it, farming, electrician, mechanic, something like that. Doctor, first aid, that sort of thing. To make somebody useful in a world like Walking Dead. I believe these are skills that have all died out, and I think we should try to restore them. And another issue that I would like to see happen is I would like to see gardens planted along the highway. So in the case something like that does happen, our people will have a supply of food that they can go get and harvest and things like that. Also, as far as gun control goes, I would definitely do all I could to lessen the restrictions on buying firearms and things like that. There would be no ban on imports and shit like that. Also, because the baddies don't need guns to kill lots and lots of people. In fact, when people like Osama bin Laden and that guy in Nice and shit like that, they discovered that they proved you in Beirut, the Beirut Marine barracks bombing, they proved you don't need a gun to kill a lot of people. So did Timothy McVeigh. And as such, they need to be, I would encourage gun ownership, make sure more people had them. And as far as the war on ISIS goes, yeah, there would be that, of course, as I mentioned in my earlier video. But there would also be no mercy for, cartels or street gangs either. I would try to hit them at every facet, at every location I could. I would set free everyone who was convicted of a purely drug offense, assuming they didn't kill somebody or hurt somebody very badly while they were doing their drug shit. That would save about $40 billion a year, and in tax money, which of course I discussed earlier. That being said, is like the cartels, they will be severely hurt by the legalization of drugs, but they're not going to go away. And if they were to try, they keep prodding at the U.S. and hurting the U.S. and things like that. And I think that a heavy hand needs to be dealt against them. Send military assistance to Mexico to help them deal with that little problem. And I would then weld down the guns of ISIS and the cartels into a throne for myself, i.e. the Iron Throne, and I would sit on it in the Oval Office. And another thing that needs to go is the criminalization of both prostitution and gambling. Again, what consenting adults do is none of our business. And I think that those things should be legalized and regulated and taxed just like drugs. And then you can have a pretty hands-off government, low taxes with a shit ton of money still coming in. I mean, with my plan there, I could, by legalizing drugs, prostitution, and gambling, I could just, cut taxes and still have more money than ever left over. And the whole idea of what I would then do is try to pass a law that third-party candidates can get into the debates, because this two-party system needs to go. I would try to make a law saying that the two most popular third parties get a seat in the debates. So that way we can work on ending the two-party system forever, because it needs to go. And hopefully, because personally as an American, I've lived under the two-party system my whole life. And I, like millions of other Americans, have just fucking had enough of it. And the only way we're going to get real change is by voting for third-party candidates. And a vote for a third-party candidate these days, it's purely symbolic. It doesn't really do anything. But voting is not necessarily about winning. It's about making your voice heard. I voted for Gary Johnson in 2012, and I do not regret it. I know he didn't win. I knew he couldn't win, but I did it anyway. And I have no regrets about that, because I made my voice heard. And that's what voting is all about. Don't let anyone tell you that you're wasting your vote by voting for a third-party candidate. And now that that's dealt with, I also believe that, police officers should have cameras attached to them, so that way we can see what's really going on out there, because there is police brutality in this country. We need to see what's going on, because the camera is completely unbiased and objective. We can see who's really out of line. Is it the person that was arrested, or is it the cop? There's a lot of both in this country, and we, as a people, need to know the truth. And I believe that any shooting involving a police officer should automatically be investigated by the FBI. So that way we can get rid of police brutality and things like that. And because police brutality is happening to everyone, it's not just a epidemic among the black community, and it's happened to everyone. I've been harassed by police before, and it's not pleasant. And I see a lot of things in society that need to change, and we really need to upgrade a lot of things. We need to build on this country, because I want to make America great again. And not to say that it's not already powerful, but it's like, a lot of people say, oh, I'm being unpatriotic, but maybe it's, or why don't you go over to wherever you visit, think that wherever I think it's better. It's because I love my country. I want to make it better. And that's what you do. I mean, all this crap about, America's the best, America's number one, yeah. We are undoubtedly the most powerful country on earth. But is it the best place to live? You might want to check your facts. And you might want to look into some other countries, especially in Europe, and see if it really is the best place to live. And again, there's going to be people, oh, if these countries in Europe are so wonderful, why don't you go there? America, love it or leave it. If you don't like America, you can get out. Well, I've got news for you for two reasons. One, I love this country, and I've lived here my whole life, and I want to see America be the very best it can. And number two, I am not financially able to leave America, and I could not leave even if I wanted to. But I don't, so I want to help America succeed. And as far as the riots and stuff that have been going on lately in this country, I would not put up with that. Those riots cause a lot of destruction, and they need to be shut down, because all this crap it's gotten ridiculous. And what I feel really, really needs to happen is that we need to increase the drug legalization, the prostitution legalization, the gambling legalization would be a big boost to our economy. People are going to do those things anyway, and we're not going to stop them. So why not? Hell, we can even build treatment facilities for these people. And anyway, this will conclude my second video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and leave a donation.